Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on what part of the world that you're in. Good morning. Welcome to day 4 of the induction week. Wow, it's already like the induction week is gradually coming to an end. Where today is day 4. That's interesting. I mean, the induction week, yes, may be coming to an end. The internship is just commencing. I mean, it's a very exciting time here. Let me hear good morning from everyone. Just drop good morning the Q&A channel. Let us know if you can hear us. Morning, Samuel. I see you. Good morning. An exciting time. I want to believe that the last few days has been very enlightening and has obviously giving a lot of us some ginger towards this program. For those of us that have been here for the past few days, you've been here Monday morning, Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, you're here today. It's not a very easy task to have to put yourself through this. So well done. Congratulations on how far you've come. It's the consistency that gets you where you're going to. All right, this morning, we would not like to take too much of your time. So we're going to start immediately, all right? We're going to be having Adejuwon and James going to talk to us on blogging on CIL Academy LMS, okay? Yesterday, yesterday afternoon, OJ spoke to us on blogging, your learning journey. A bit streamlined to blogging on the Academy LMS. Adejuwon, Jay, are you ready for us?
Thank you very much, Omobolanle.
All right, over to you.
Okay. Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing this morning? So I know we already, like Bolanle already said, we're going to be talking about, we're going to continue talking about blogging on CIL Academy LMS. And as some of you, if you attended yesterday afternoon session, that is not a new topic, basically. So it's going to be majorly us doing a bit of more practical on the blogging. We're going to show you guys more. And then mostly the Q&A that follows suit. So yesterday we realized that we were not able to take as much question as we posted. We're going to be doing all of that this morning. Yeah, before we get into the next session, it's not going to take too long. It might actually be very, very short, right? Depending on the number of questions that we might be able to take or that might be posted. But I'm very sure even might be questions around why do I need to blog? I'm a data engineer. I don't need to do any of that. Well, we've talked about how important it is to document your journey, right? How important in the world we live right now, your competence is not just enough. What you can do is not just enough. And we've realized that. That is why we arranged and prepared this particular session in this whole induction period. When we get into the work, we won't be able to do this again. We want to make sure we give you as much as possible in terms of encouragement, in terms of the value you get from you blogging your journey. We want to be able to do that during this time, so you have enough motivation, enough reason for you to put your work out there via any means or via any platform that suits you. It could be your personal blogging platform. It could be your IM channels, the instant messaging channels. It could be the social media networks. It could be anywhere basically. But we also want you to feel comfortable with you consuming content on a platform and also be able to create your content, create your blog content from that same platform, and then deploy it to or share it to whatever means that might prefer based on your preference. I think it's too early for this, but Deborah is saying, is anyone talking already? I can't hear any sound. That's very strange. Jay or Bolanle, could you guys please raise a poll? So let's get the polls on. how the audio, or maybe it's from my end. Can you guys hear me properly? If you can hear me, just okay. Okay, Deborah can hear now.
Yes,
Cool.
I can
Cool.
hear you.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Because it's you know. Okay, so like I was saying, right? We've talked about the theory of the blogging. There was a part of it that was actually a bit practical yesterday as well, which is quite impressive. But this morning we're going to do the same thing, right? Talk more around blogging, talk more around why you should, and talk more around mostly actually taking questions from you guys. So you can do it, just drop your question. I'm a data engineer. I don't care about blogging, right? What's the advantage? What do I even stand to gain? Why should I do it? And then I wasn't very clear while Oji was sharing the screen yesterday while he was showing us how to blog via the CLMS. Can you go through the session again? Can I style my contents? Can I do this? Can I do that? All of these questions. We would be able to also take those questions this morning. Okay. Well, my name is Adejuwon. I'm a product manager here at CIL again. And yeah, I've been the guy you guys have been reaching out most time when it comes to your code. How you guys have been. Sorry if you have questions around the codes again that you probably have dropped since yesterday. I've not attended to it. I'm gonna do that maybe after this session, maybe towards close of business today. So just be patient with me. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we look through blogging again. So if you're not attentive yesterday or you were not in the session and you're here now, it's another time for you to, get as much as you can. 1 second, please. Due to the fact that the questions might not be as much on the blogging side, which is fine as well, right? You might also, if you have another general question, but if you have another question that you want to push out, please do well to just let me know. Just drop it and I will take care of them or call other facilitators to take care of them. My screen should be open a minute from now. Drop a thumbs up if you can see my screen. All right. Thank you. Okay, cool. All right. So this is the blog content posted yesterday by OJ. But before we get this is how you just navigate. You get to the website itself and you just go to one of these nav options which says blog. It's that simple actually. So just go there and you see all the content that has been posted. Okay. This was prepared by myself, and just the same way I can go there and do this myself, you also can do that, and you can share by any means like you might want. Okay. So this is the way it appears when you're done, when you published your content. But let's say for some reasons, okay, let's touch all this content. Let's create our own. Okay. So I'm going to just log in. You will be able to also log in, right? You'll be able to access the platform when we've onboarded you guys, and you get a notification via your email with your credentials. You will either be given the credentials or you'll be given what's the word? An invitation link that you're going to join to onboard yourself. Either way, just keep an eye on your email. Okay. So I want to add a new entry, like what I told you yesterday. All you have to just do is add a new entry. That's you saying that I want to add my own blog or record, whatever, right? So this is what you interact with. You put in whatever. So yesterday we've already done all of this. So let me just pick an existing content and do some styling. I did not share this on any of my social media channels, so I can modify it and do whatever it is that I want to do. Okay, so if you want to edit as well, maybe delete a blog content that you posted, maybe you feel like, oh, there's a lot of errors in it and you want to just modify or you want to edit. All you have to just do is, click on this edit button or delete button or whatever you want to do. So let's say for some reasons I want to edit, just get into here and, just edit away basically. And as you can see as well, so OG only interacted with just maybe like a couple of this features yesterday, right? It didn't do much. So let's see how much we can really do around styling. Okay. So this is this guy. Your text feature or your text sizes, different ones are there. Or you want to make it very small, you want to make it very big, you want to make it an header size, blah 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 blah. All of that you can do. You want to bold, you want to italicize, or you maybe have some point that you want to, add bullet points to. All of these are there. Okay. Or maybe you want to hyperlink a part of your content to another page or to another website. Basically, you can do all of that. All of these are for your styling. Okay. And for someone that was asking yesterday about how you can add an image, right? I told you that you can do it from the blog, but this is me answering you practically now that this icon right here is what you can use to, insert a picture, an image into your content. And this is what you can use to insert a video. You can even record a video. I mean, you can record an audio rather, right? So you can do like a whole lot, guys. Okay. So get comfortable with it, with you blogging your content away, with you blogging your journey away, right? So that's all about the feature. I mean, before you can be here, you probably have a very good understanding of how you can, write content, either using Microsoft Words or just typing on your phone, basically, and then you can italicize or bolding from there, right? So this is giving you all of the options, okay? Or maybe you made a mistake, or maybe you did something and you erased mistakenly. You can also, go back and do all of that, okay? Like basically undoing a lot of maybe several steps that you've taken. For someone that was asking yesterday about screenshots, screenshots is basically an image, right? But if you want to also do this, maybe you want to make it appear in form of a code block or something, right? That you can also do. I just did it now, okay? So yeah, you have all of that capability, you have all of that possibility on this system. That should undo. Okay. Let's see. So you undo that by doing that. It's not rocket science basically, guys. And you can even download files. Maybe you've attached a file before and you want to, maybe you've lost on your actual desktop and you want to download it back to your desktop. You can do that from here. It's pretty simple. Okay. So let your questions start rolling in. This is a bit more in depth than what we did yesterday around the practicality of the blogging feature on the LMS. Okay. So please drop questions. If there are no questions too, that's fine. It means we've done a good job to, explain things better. Are there any prerequisite knowledge you would recommend us to start brushing on before full practical starts on Monday? Okay, I'll come to this. I would like to just take questions around the blogging before I come to that. Samuel Noah, I have a question quite different from what we are doing here, though in a way related. This is cloud and data engineering training, right? I started learning data analysis earlier. Where can you get databases that can be used in data analysis be gotten from? Is it from cloud or where? I will not be answering that, Deborah, Ola, due to one reason. This session is for blogging, but if you want to get databases options and all of that, I think you can actually just check online, basically, or you can drop the question as well on our channel, on our Slack channel, and you get a technical person to respond to you and give you options. Okay. It's not my area of expertise, basically. First, what's the first step on this blog? Okay. The first step is for you to get to the website by going to the CIL Academy website. That's actually the URL, CIL.academy. I'm going to drop it now, CIL.academy. And when you get there, you see part of the nav options. It has blog on it. Just click the blog and you get onto the page that has all the list of the blogs that has been created. And then you can, if you have a credential to log in, which we're going to share with all of you, every single person that that are qualified for this for this program. Okay, you're going to log into with the credential, and you'll be able to also add your own entry or do other modification, either by editing or deleting the one that you have created. Okay, is it compulsory to join both morning and afternoon session? Because I don't get invites for the afternoon session. Oh, that's very sad to hear, Bukola Uyebanji. The invitation for both morning and afternoon, I'm very much aware that they've been dropped several times on the Cohort 5 Data and Engineering channel on Slack. And I want to do well to maybe scroll back. So James, I don't know if that message is pinned. If you could help us pin it as well, so someone like Bukola can see the invitation for both morning and afternoon session. I still don't understand it, please. If you might want to be much detailed with your question, I don't know what you're not clear about, what you don't understand. I want to maybe clarify your question properly. Olufemi, are the two sessions important, both the morning and afternoon, or just one session is okay? Both are important. Olufemi, please, both are very much important. As you can see, we don't repeat what we say in the afternoon in the morning. Okay, there are different things planned for the morning, different planned things even for each session, not just for just morning or afternoon, like you think. Okay, both are very much important. All right, so I think that's all I got on the blogging questions. I'm going to go back to the first question now of you asking, are there any prerequisite knowledge you would recommend us to start brushing on before full practical starts on Monday? I think everything that we think you should know, everything we've kind of analyzed that is very important for your journey is what we are integrating you into now from Monday till this Friday. We've been telling you about blogging. We've been telling you about the fundamentals of data engineering. We've been telling you about the fundamentals of cloud engineering. We've taught you what CSPs really are. Even though some of these things are also available online that you could also check out yourself. But we've done well to, taking you through the fundamentals or the prerequisite that we think you should know. But much more than what we've taught you here is your own ability to do further research on your own, right? We said CSP are just cloud service providers. Then what does that really mean to be a cloud service provider? We've told you about what was the word now? Hyperscalers, the out of the cloud service providers, the hyperscalers, the top 3, or I think the top 4 thereabouts. What does that really mean? Okay, you might want to get into those details yourself, get familiar with the landscape. So I said something on Tuesday or thereabout that this space you are, it's a space where you hear a lot of buzzwords. Like, take breathe on buzzwords. You have to get comfortable with it. So look for what it means to what is cloud computing. When they say instances, what does it mean? What does virtual machine mean? When they say workspace, what does it really mean, right? Get familiar with all of those things, basically. But I think everything you need to know, Samuel, is going to be given to you in this first week of induction. Then you do further research by yourself. Yeah, I think I'm really good here. I see some new questions that I'm seeing here. Please, I still can't access this Slack channel. It keeps. Omobolanle, you're going to take the Q&A. I'll just take anyone that has to do with the blog. Does CIL have technical writing documentation team? Sandra Dindi, I don't know why you asked this, but our engineers are very capable, and they do their documentation by themselves. Okay, so the point is that if you are the one behind an API, let's say you sound like someone that actually has the prerequisite knowledge already on some technical stuff. So this is my point. If you, for example, build an API that's supposed to work between 2 systems, we believe that the best person to put documentation together to communicate what that API does is you. Okay, except you're working with a team of people that maybe every member of that team is fully aware of what that API can do. Then maybe one person can be delegated to come up with the documentation for that API or for whatever feature has been built. Okay, but we don't have a documentation team or writing team separately. We have people that take care of some other social engagement processes, right? But when it comes to you communicating what you built, the technicality of what you built, we think the best person to do that is you. The same way, either a product person will communicate what they want to build, or anything that has to do with a particular product or feature to their users. You want to communicate what you've done to your audience, the best person is you, actually. So, Sandra, I hope that response communicates what you're looking for. Can we embed codes in the blog section to reference to some other blogs on a personal blog? Yeah, I just showed you that earlier. Yes, you can do that. You can do that. Please, can you send CIL Academy again? Mine is not working, please. If you cannot copy from what I posted, just write in your browser. Okay, guys. When we say we're going to be doing our handholding, it's not to say that we are going to you will not put in any work at all. I mean, simply typing CIL Academy in your browser shouldn't be what you should need anybody to tell you on. I've clicked on CIL Academy, please, what next? You will see blog. You try to see navigation options. You will see home, blog, I think courses or thereabouts as well, and some other things. You will see blog on that option. Just click on it, and you will get into the blog content that has been published so far. I've clicked on, okay, that's another one. The email address. So Bolanle has dropped the email address again for you, for some of you that might need stuff around the email address. It's academy@securintel.com. Good morning, just had a baby, but first of all, congratulations to you. But we don't want to blame this on pregnancy brains. But when I got the induction email, I thought I just had to register for 1 day and a slot that was most convenient for me. This is my first time journey, and it appears I have missed a lot. Is it too late to catch up, or are these slides or documents that I can use to catch up quickly? Again, Susan, Susan, yeah, congratulations. Okay, congratulations. You're going to get all the contents. Okay, all the previous content are going to also be available on our YouTube channels. Okay, so if, in case you feel like you've missed so much, you can always catch up eventually. Okay. In your blog sample, I'm seeing a strong foundation in mathematics is essential to becoming a successful data engineer. I'm now worried because I'm crossing over from the other hand, English and literature to be exact. Okay. If you were in the session where we had the Q&A with some alumni on Wednesday, there was one of the engineers even one of the stars at Silicon Intelligence Limited, the company itself currently, Cornelia. Yeah, she had I think medical biochemistry background, and now she's a cloud engineer, and she does very, very well for herself. Okay, so whatever you're going to see a lot of content online, not just on our own blog website. You're going to see a lot of content online, but trust me, people would only write based on what they have experienced or what they think actually works for them. Now, that's not to say that along the way you would not have to learn some things. You would have to learn some things along the way, but trust me, the barrier, I mean, the entry barrier, you're not having technical background or mathematical knowledge or any experience. It's not a barrier for you to join this. I came from a similar background as well, something around clinicals, right? And I'm playing in this space, and I know things that I would have thought before I get into this role. I would have probably thought that I would need so much technical knowledge to do this or to do that, right? Though I don't play in technical space, but I know like to a very good extent, and I'm able to like communicate with people that actually has the knowledge. Yeah. I didn't have to go for 1 year of mathematics training or go and do technical stuff and all of that. You don't need that, right? Just get your mind open. All these things are written in English. Even codes are written in English. So don't let mathematics or any other issue that maybe someone has written in the past And if you sit on our own blog content, it probably we just trying to show you guys how you can, blog. Basically, it's not how to get into. That's like we contradicting ourselves. Okay, what we've done to show, what we've shown you, what we've told you over the past 4 days is that you can get into this field without any prior knowledge. We're taking you from zero. The zero there is not just for sweet talking. We are literally taking you from zero knowledge around these things to you becoming techie, and you being able to like communicate the terms properly. So get comfortable, Victor. It's not a problem. Okay. Please, for the blog, I've clicked on CIL Academy. What next, please? I've answered that already. Is cloud engineering the same as or different from cloud computing? It's just like a it's just like an hierarchy. You can't do when you're doing cloud computing, you're literally doing cloud engineering. You can't be a cloud engineer without doing cloud computing. Cloud computing is actually just a terminology, basically, that's used to qualify you not having to do a lot of things on premise. We told you a very simple definition. I will not get into the technical part of it, right? Because no, it's not my my field of expertise. A very very simple one is we said something yesterday about provisioning workspaces for qualified students, right? That workspace is not entirely not on your is not yours, is not physically available for you, but you can interact with it and you can use it. An example, I'm currently working on something that requires me to use a Windows PC in the cloud. I use Mac. I couldn't run that software on my own personal system, right? Computer. I had to provision. Something had to be provided for me to use a Windows PC in the cloud for me to run that program, and it works seamlessly. That literally is cloud computing. Don't overthink it. Just focus on your path, which is going to be cloud engineering. That is your own interest, or data engineering. That is your interest. Cloud computing is just a general term that used to qualify all those things. I can't see the email shared. Uh, just scroll up. Just scroll up. You'll see it. It's broadcasted to everyone. Good. God bless you, sir. Please, how can I make my own blog? We've already shown you when it's time for you to do that. You will be able to, interact with the blog itself and create your own or edit your own. Tosin, sorry, Bolanle, you might want to maybe continue from here. I don't think I'm seeing any other question around here that has to do with the blog. Thank you very much, guys. I hope we've done enough justice to blogging your journey, why you should, the advantages, and all of that. Bolanle, over to you.
Thank you very much, John, for that session. We will be getting more answers to a lot of our questions as time goes by. For those of us that are just joining, it's important that you join the Slack channel for all the details, all the information needed. For those of us that missed one day, one session or another, look out for the videos on our YouTube channel. All this will be displayed. Okay, do not be anxious about anything. All right, very quickly, we'll be going to the next session. Hope we're very excited and ready for this session. We'll be having our very own head of talent management team, Oluwatosin, and Blessing talk to us on accountability partners. Tosin, are you ready for us? I'm not sure Tosin can hear me. Does Tosin have access to speak?
Yeah, I think she does. 1 second, please.
Okay.
Yeah, she can talk.
Tosin, can you speak now? If you can hear us. Okay, while we're waiting for Tosin to connect with us, there's a question for you here, Jomo. Someone is asking, Tim Tucker is asking, is it a must to blog throughout our journey?
we've answered that yesterday, yeah. So it's not a must, but we strongly encourage it. Okay. Uh, you in the world we live today, there are a lot of people that are doing what you're doing, and people that seems to be getting most recognition are the ones that are talking about what they're doing. You will be surprised that you know how to calculate 1 plus 1 in your bedroom, and one person is able to blog it out there or maybe put it out there, and that person is getting more recognition than you. Okay, so it's important that you do it. We strongly encourage that you do it, right? But is it a must? Does it determine your continuity in the program or not? You have access to the LMS or continue learning. No, it doesn't. But we strongly encourage it.
Right. Thank you very much for that. All right. Someone is asking a question on cloud engineering. I think you just have to be very patient. Some of these questions we're asking, you will get answers to it when you start the assessments along the line. So let's just be patient. You can't get all the answers in a few days. Be patient, trust the process, take it as much as it's being given to you. These schedules, this program has been carefully curated. So just take your time and go through the process. Don't try to know everything at once. Okay. All right. Tristan, can you hear me now?
All right, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Tristan.
All right, been a good induction session with everybody, our, our co-organizers, the presenters, and also our incoming interns. I'm sure we've all been enjoying uh, all the sessions, the morning session, the afternoon session. All right, quick question, Bolanle, as a blessing spoken.
Not yet.
I think
Not
I
yet.
think I've can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you,
Yes, can
blessing.
hear you.
Fantastic.
Right, over to you guys.
Blessing, you can go ahead. You wanted to show something. Blessing, are you there? Blessing, anybody hear me?
Yeah, you're
We can
very
hear you,
audible.
Tristan. Yes, we can.
Okay.
So I guess it
Can you
might be
hear me? Am I
network from
audible?
Blessing's end.
Yeah,
We
it's
can hear
Blessing,
you
you're
really
now.
audible.
horrible network issues today. Yeah, it's really horrible network issues this morning. I'm not sure what's going on. I think there's been a little bit of rain. Maybe we leave the door open. Would that help? I don't know. Let's try. Let's try leave the door open. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, I would see if this works. So I was saying we'll start with a little bit of interactive activity this morning, and we'll be talking about accountability partners, right? Or accountability partner selection. So I want us to do a little bit of activity very quickly. You would have flip back, please, to the other slide. You're going to have like 60 seconds, that is a minute, to just write down a word that comes to your mind when you hear accountability partners. So if you want to flip back to the previous slide, please. Can you put it back on the slide where you have the QR code, please? Yeah, leave it there. I'll tell you when to move it, please. Thank you. So if every one of us on the call, can we just go straight to that URL, ahaslides.com/C5APN, or if you've got a QR code reader, just click scan the code. It will land you on the same place. And I want you to just write down what comes to your mind when you hear the word accountability partner. Right? Just start writing down what comes to your mind. I've opened it up, and it's going to be like about 50 seconds left for you to put in what comes to your mind. A little much later in the presentation, I would put on the screen what people have put down. Fantastic. Yeah, things are beginning to come in. And I'm really sorry you can't all see what is going in at the moment. But when we get to the mid point of the presentation, I will put on the screen what came up. And it will be interesting to see how that tallies with what we're presenting to you. About 20 seconds left. So quickly type in if you're doing that. I'm seeing lots of responses coming through already. Yeah, interesting. Thank you for those that are typing. About 5 seconds left to go. That's it. All locked. Thank you very, very much for every one of us that participated in that. All your responses have generated a massive word cloud, which I'm now going to share during the midpoint of the presentation. But we'll see how that tallies with what Tosi is going to be sharing with us. So back to you, Tosi. Carry on. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Blessing. Morning once again, guys. I'm sure from the interactive session, the activity that was put up there. So I know some of you would have said something that really tallies with what we're about to tell you today. So, sharing the slides. Please put up the slide. While they are trying to share the slides, we'll be talking about accountability partner or accountability partner selection. I'm sure some of you already know what accountability partner means. Some of you are just hearing this for the first time, and for some people, they already have an idea of what it is about. So, when we talk about an accountability partner, you're talking about someone or something that helps you keep track of your progress of what you're doing, and this kind of person or this thing helps you to actually maintain a progress for a particular desired goal that you want to achieve. So whenever you hear anything like accountability partner, the word accountability, I think already is pretty straightforward for you to understand. Someone that you are accountable to, or someone you are willing to hold, that you know is you're willing for the person to hold you accountable for something. And when you're talking about an accountability partner, the idea there is for you to have someone that you can always go to. This person can help you track your achievements, help you track your goal, help you track your progress when you have a particular goal in mind, or you have a particular thing to achieve. So it can be human, and it can also be non-human. So when we talk about a human accountability partner, it could be a physical support that you have. When you have a physical support, someone you can always go to, and this person can always come to you. This person can always uh come to you and ask you, have you done this, have you done that? This person helps you keep track of what you're doing, your progress. And when you're discouraged to move forward, this is the person that can push you, that can always come and say, oh, you've not done this, this is your deadline. You're accountable to that person. Whatever you're doing, the person would always check your progress. And even when you feel tired, this is the kind of person that can push you. And the person can always be a virtual support. I'm sure we all know that COVID has made virtual working, virtual support a really big thing, and it has been the light of the day for us. So virtual support, you can always have someone to be your virtual support. It could be that, okay, this is the person that And you can always call. You cannot see this person physically, but this person is, you can always reach out to the person virtually, either via phone call, via social media, and the like. So you have this person that you can help you monitor your progress. And most times it's always better to have someone that you have that you share the same ideology, so it will be a win-win for the both of you. You're tracking this person and the person is tracking you. You have something to give in return. So it could also be non-human. There are online tools that you can use. There are AIs there and algorithms. So you can always use a Pomodoro timer. A Pomodoro timer is this application or this timer that helps you to keep track of what you're doing. If you want to study for, let's take for instance, you want to study for about 1 hour, you can set it in your Pomodoro timer that okay, you study for 1 hour and you have a 5 minute break. You study for 1 hour, you have a 5 minute break. You set it there. So once it is 1 hour, you've been studying, once it is an hour, the timer would beep and you also know that oh, it's time for me to take my break. And once it is 5 minutes, you are done taking your break. It also beep to know that you should go back to studying or whatever you are doing, or you have a deadline. This can have actually help you. So you are accountable to this. It's the timer is helping you keep track of what you are doing. So accountability partner, you can actually have an accountability partner as human, and you can also have it as non-human. Next slide, please. Right. So there are things for you to know before engaging with your accountability partner. There are things you would want to know, things you should be sure that okay, I'm going in, I want to have an accountability partner. So the things you should know before engaging with your accountability partner. First, you should know what your goals are. What are your goals? What do you plan to achieve? Things are very important. If you don't have a goal, then I don't see any reason why you should have an accountability partner, because what will you be accountable for? So you should know what your goals are. Then you should also know what's the time commitment that you are willing to make. How can you give your time, or what kind of commitment can you give? So you should not give what you don't have. If you know you cannot give so much time, you should not give what you don't have. If you know you can only have maybe 5 minute session, 10 minute session with your accountability partner to know how you've gone far, to know your progress, then it should be 5 minutes. You should not give 30 minutes when you know that okay, that 30 minutes in between you want to do this, you want to do that, which should actually cause a distraction. So you should have a time commitment that you're willing to make with your accountability partner. And also, what is your check-in frequency? How often do you want this person to check in with you? So that it doesn't look like this person is bugging me. Why is this person calling me? Oh, why is this? So it doesn't look like there's person is disturbing you. You should know how often you want this person to check in with you, or you should know how often you want in your you want to set your Pomodoro timer on. So always know how you want your check-in frequency to be. So also you should know if you're prepared to be a coach in exchange for some coaching. Like I said, it should be a relationship that is beneficial, that is mutually beneficial. So what can you also give in return? It doesn't look like this is the person that is always pushing and pushing and pushing. What are you also giving in return? So it should be a mutually beneficial relationship. You should know that this person is coaching me, and I am also coaching this person. So your accountability partner, you should have, when you're engaging with your accountability partner, you should know that it's going to be a win-win situation. So you should know you require human intervention or algorithm to work with you. like I explained when I was talking about the human accountability partner and the non-human accountability partner. So if you want it to be human, then you have human intervention, and if you want it to be an algorithm to work with you, then you can also have that. So accountability partner, it doesn't have to be someone that you are so close to. It could be a stranger, someone you share the same ideology, someone you share that you know that your goals align, your dream are alike. So it could be a stranger, but when when you are having a stranger as your accountability partner, you sure know that there is something that connects the both of you or a particular group. So it doesn't have to just be one person. It could be a group of people that you guys are accountability partners. So it also be your friends. Your friends can help you be your accountability partner, and you also know that you're giving something in return. It could be your family members, it could be your colleagues, your co-workers, it could be someone you work with. So you should always do what works best for you, whichever one you prefer. Some people cannot work, they cannot work smoothly, or they cannot work efficiently with their friends. They prefer to work with a stranger. So you can do that. And if you know, oh, because this person is my friend, I know I can always go to this person anytime. I know if this person should scold me, because when you're having an accountability partner, you should be ready for the person to scold you. You should be ready to be disciplined. So that should be at the back of your mind. So if you know that you don't want your friend to discipline you, it's better you go for a stranger. If you know, oh, you can take it from your friends, your families, if you can go for them, just do what works best for you. So right now I'll be handing over to Blessing to tell you more about accountability partner. And I know that at the end of this presentation, a lot of questions will come in, and we'll also be in the Q&A session for to answer your questions. So thank you very much, and Blessing, over to you.
Thank you very much. It's been a beautiful morning for me fighting internet. Let's put up the slide, please. Well done, well done, well done. Right. Fab. So we'll just continue from there. Uh, okay, can we flip to the next slide, please? Fantastic. So there's the results of. I'm having a bit of feedback in my ear. Can we check what's causing that, please? Juwon, can you check? There's a bit of feedback coming through to me.
Okay. You can't see the screen.
I can see the screen, but I'm getting audio feedback. I'm not sure what's causing that.
Okay.
I think it's clear
You're not
here.
talking to your mic.
Sorry, say again?
I said from another person that speak up probably. If you're not talking, please just mute your mic. Bless, I think you're good.
Okay. No. Something is going on. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, very well.
Okay. I will just try to ignore the feedback in my ear. It's a little bit it's annoying. Sorry. Bear with me a second, please. Fantastic. So I'm going to present from another device, if that's okay, because the other one is having a lot of feedback on the audio. Okay. Right. So we had an interactive activity earlier on to do with what comes to your mind when you hear that word accountability partner. And clearly on the results, you can see the big things that come to people's mind. I think the boldest one, if my eyes are good enough, will be responsibility. And then support and dedication are also there. And I think that correlates straight away with some of the things that you've been talking about earlier, Tosi. There are other things that, like someone that you can trust, someone that someone that keeps you in trouble. Okay, I'm going to leave that one there. There's a motivational partner. There's faithful, reliable, supports, Johnny, and of course you can see all the words that comes to people's mind. I would say yes, most of these are true, as should be when you have an accountability partner. You expect some of these things, or at least more than one or two of those from your accountability partner. And I think you recall also that Tosi referred to either a human partner or a non-human partner. So obviously there are things here that a non-human partner would not be able to provide. But obviously most of these things a human partner will be able to provide within the framework of being your accountability partner. Let's flip to the next slide, please, and continue from there. I'll be talking about just 2 or 3 things: the qualities, example of who can be, and lastly, I'll be talking about how you select and work with an accountability partner. So let's look at the qualities of an accountability partner. Commitment, cheerleader, drill sergeant are 3 that we want to call out. And if you flip back to, you don't need to do that on the screen, but if you cast your mind back to the word cloud that we just looked at, some of these come true immediately. You want someone that is committed to what you are committed to, right? You want someone who cheers for you, someone who enjoys your success, not someone who questions your success, or someone who, probably envy is not a great word, but is one I have to call out. If your accountability partner doesn't cheer and root for you, then you probably have selected the wrong one. You want a drill sergeant. For those of us that don't know what a drill sergeant is, in a simple term, it's just someone who kind of, in the military, someone who gets you doing what you're supposed to do. If you've watched one of those military training or movies where someone is screaming at the troop, do this, do that, move on, right? That's the drill sergeant. Now, in reality, you don't want your partner to be screaming at you, but why we put that in is you don't want one who accepts all excuses. So you set a goal and you say by January ending or by March ending, I'm going to be certified at practitioner level in AWS. And then by mid-March, you're giving excuses to your partner and you say, okay, that's okay, just go and carry on. That's not the partner you really want, right? If you choose a partner who is not able to look you in the eyes and say, look, you're messing this up, then you are not going to be successful. Remember, the choice of your accountability partner has a lot to do with your success in what 2 of you are committing to, 2 or more of you, because it can be a group of partners too. Now, an example candidate, who can you make your accountability partner? Pretty much anybody or anything, right? Just something that works for you, okay? It could be your friend, it could be your family, your co-worker, colleagues, or online communities. I want to really call out online and local communities. Some of you have heard about this, where, for example, you have a local group of people that meet together to just discuss a particular topic. So if you're a programmer in Python, you might have a Python local group that meets somewhere near where you live. And it's good to attend some of those, because the more you attend, over time, you find yourself also trying to contribute. And by so doing, you develop yourself. So attending online or local physical meetups with people of like-minded goals can be a form of accountability partnership for you. Let's go to the last slide, please. So how do you select and work with an accountability partner, right? Very quick, simple 4-step process. To be honest, do you really need the 4-step process? You probably by now already know from what Tosi shared and what I've shared what it would be like to select one, but let's just put it in discussion there. You find someone who shares a similar goal or idea with yourself. So someone who buys into what you're trying to do, really. you create a plan. It's really important to create a plan, right? Planning is as they say, is the first step towards achieving success, right? You want to create a plan that you share with your partner and say, this is what I'm trying to do. You want to be open and honest to yourself. Don't say I'm going to get 10 certifications or like some of us have been saying, I want to do data engineering and cloud engineering at the same time. Be honest with yourself, right? You may be able to if you're Superman or Superwoman, but what are the chances, right? Be honest to yourself what you can do. And I really like that last one here that talks about rewarding yourself. Reward yourself. Ever so often we achieve something, but rather than us going back and say, oh, you and me, I've achieved this, what people tend to do is they find more things to do. So find ways to reward yourself, okay, when you've achieved something. And if you're an accountability partner to someone listening on this call, if you see they've done something, find ways to make them, cheer them up and say to them, well done, you have done well. So that pretty much covers accountability partner selection. I'm sorry about the network issues, which has really taken much of the time, but I hope that based on what Tosi shared earlier and what I've shared now, I hope you found something pretty useful there to be able to select your accountability partner. Let's go for some questions. Right. Okay, just scrolling through and let's see. Where do we start from? Okay, let's keep. No, I think that's still on the blogging session. So let's go a bit more. Okay, I think Juwan has answered all of those ones. Those are from the blogging session. I remember that one. There are questions there about programming language for cloud engineering. I think I will focus on questions that covers accountability partnership, and maybe we'll kind of create another session to just answer some of all these questions that people have put in there. Yeah, good. I've seen people pasting some good statements on what accountability partnership is. So Informa has said a partner, when each partner commits to coach towards achieving their goals and be held accountable for progress. Yeah, that's correct. So I think Joshua, you said a checkmate person. Yeah, that's also correct. I won't be able to read every one of these. So let me flip down to see if there's any other question. Someone said, Mr. Adejuwon, please be my accountability partner. I'm just I'm not going to comment on that. Good luck, right? What if you found out that your accountability partner is not in par with your goals? Can you change them further down the road? Tosi, do you want to take that, please? Right, I don't think Tosi is still there. Is she? Are you there, Tosi? Okay, no, I don't think she's there. So I'll take this one. So if your accountability partner is not in par with your goal, and I think you need to realize that you are able to change your accountability partners, right? It's not that we've selected one and we must stick with that one, ride or die kind of situation. No, if you find that your partner is not fulfilling the functions for which you expect them to, you are very much free to have that conversation and say, okay, you know what, I want to pick another partner, and you go ahead and pick another one, right? Feel free to change your partners, basically. Okay. Can any of the tutors be our accountability partners? Come on the program. We'll discuss that in due course. Maybe from next week 3, week 4, we can start to look to that. We do have mentors within the program. So come on, we'll talk about that. How do we select our accountability partners? I hope I've answered that question, Kanyi Sola. Earlier in the induction, he talked about getting a partner. Can we also refer to that as our accountability partner? Yes, it can be. It can be. It depends on. So there can be partners that you work with just because you're learning something together. So study buddies, if you like. They may not necessarily be your accountability partner, but it's possible that you can select a partner that is also studying together with you, but also your accountability partner. That's doable. So I believe it's 10 o'clock. So let me just take this very last one from Chinoyerem. Is it very necessary to pick a partner from the group? No, it's not. Like I said, friend, family, colleagues at work, or it could also be non-human. Tosi talked about a Pomodoro timer, which is just a timer that keeps you focused every maybe 15, 20, 25 minutes. That's not even a human partner. And in programming, there's something we call rubber ducking, where you go and buy a rubber duck and put it on your table. And when you start writing your code, you just talk to the rubber duck. Of course, it's not going to talk back to you, but there's something about talking to something that makes you solve the problem. Your brain just kicks in a solution because you're explaining that problem to the rubber duck on your table. That's an accountability partner. So indeed, it doesn't have to come from this very group. It could come from within your family, within your place of work, or anywhere else. So hopefully that answers all questions I can see here. So back to you, Juwon, for the next session, please. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Blessing, for that. Thank you so much, Tosin, for that session on accountability partners. I think all the questions have been answered. Even I learned a few things about the accountability partner. I always assumed that it had to be a person that was, physical. But here I got something as well from this, that it doesn't have to be, a human accountability partner. It's just you being accountable to the person or to the process, thing, or application that matters. All right, very quickly, we'll be going to the next session, Technical Foundation 1000 Feet, and we'll be having Blessing back here lead us on that session. Blessing, are we ready for the next session? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, dear. Definitely, we are. Sorry, okay. I was just muting my mic for a second there. All right.
Okay.
Should I start?
Yes, please.
Okay, so this is the only slide for this session, right? Okay, so it's either you're going to be looking at this slide all along, or you can stare at a very nice picture somewhere in your house. Doesn't matter. All you need to do is to listen and interact with me. It's going to be an interactive session, okay? So I've flipped my my screen straight to the question box, because I'll be talking about various things. And as I talk, I'll take questions until the time is up. So sharpen your question, asking fingers, and get ready. Okay? Rubber ducking works. It is a psychology for me. Thank you, Elijah. Someone says, please, what is Blessing's full name? I would love to connect and follow him on LinkedIn. Right? I can give you my full name, but not now. All right, I'll put it on the chat at some point and broadcast it across. Okay. There is only one slide, Chidebere. This is the only slide for this session. You're not going to see any other slide. You're going to be hearing me talk to you, and I'll be happy to answer your questions as I go. So technical foundations, what are we thinking about in this session? Cloud engineering, data engineering, okay? Engineering is all about solving problems. We talked about this on the first day. It's all about creativity. It's all about being able to apply concepts, theories to business problems. So when you become a cloud engineer or a data engineer, which will happen definitely at the end of this program, fingers crossed for every one of us, okay? The first thing that I want you to always remember is this: there is no right or wrong, okay? Everything is a tool, okay? Cloud, on premises, whatever, everything you're going to be learning is a tool, okay? There are great ways to do it. There are not too great ways to do it, but nothing is absolutely wrong, okay? What I need you to bear in mind is, how do I create business value? As a cloud engineer, what am I doing to add value to the organization? Okay, what am I doing as a data engineer to make sure that the business is executing on their plans? I don't want to say strategy because you say it's a big word, but every business have got a plan. They want to go to market and sell stuff and make some money, profit and whatnot. What are you doing to drive that? This is the base question where you start from. And to start to answer those questions, one of the things I try to get people to learn are the concepts. You need to understand the concept in the space you're operating. And this concept, they give you a body of knowledge, which some people start to call domain knowledge. It's just a fancy word, but it just means you know a lot about the space you're operating. And because you know about those concepts,
you are able to apply them to solve those business problems that I just talked about earlier. Amarachi, there is no screen. You're hearing the sound of my voice. And as I proceed, I'm sure the questions will start to come. Feel free to ask questions. So I will touch on some concepts this morning that are relevant to both cloud and data engineering. Okay. When you go into the business and you say, okay, this is the problem we've got. We want to achieve XYZ. One of the first things you probably learn to do is to gather requirements. Requirements gathering, super important. A lot of folks don't realize that you need to gather requirements before you start a solution, a process, a project, a program, whatever you want to call it. But requirements gathering is important. And it's key that you know how to gather those requirements. There will be many tools for you to use in gathering requirements. It could be simply a notepad. It could be Excel. It could even be a fancy tool like Jira. But you need to learn to tease out requirements. I'll tell you what, many people don't know what they are looking for, what they want. Okay, they kind of think they know. They'll say, oh yeah, we want a solution that does X, Y, Z. But by the time you start to tease out the requirements for that solution, you realize that what they want is actually far bigger than what they were telling you. Or sometimes what they want is not even possible. So remember to always gather your requirements. Don't jump into solution without getting enough of your requirements. And a word that I want to bring in there is due diligence. Some of the requirements you gather, test them. Not all requirements will pass the test of time. Someone is going to say to you, oh, I want all the users from all the world to browse into this application and to be able to use it very quickly. And then you say to the person, all right, we can do that. We'll open that up. It's probably going to cost about $1 million to set up the service that can do that. And then the person will say, oh, all right, can we just start with Africa then? So you have to do your due diligence on the requirements that you gather to make sure that they make sense. There will be constraints. What are constraints? These are things that prevent you from rolling out your solution the way you want it to be rolled out. Okay. First question I'm taking, hold on to the constraint thoughts. Can a cloud engineer finish a work alone without the need of a data engineer or both working alongside? Simple answer, no. Right? You always need to work across a team. There is no single profession where just one person does the whole thing. In medicine, there's something they call a multidisciplinary team, which is where you see doctors, nurses, and so on. If you ever walk into a theater where a surgery is taking place, you're going to have the surgeon who is performing that surgery. You're going to have an anesthetist who is making sure that you don't feel pain or putting you to sleep so that you don't feel what's going on. You're going to, in fact, there's even someone who is taking time within that theater. Okay, this is the time the surgery starts. This is the time the person went to sleep. This is the time we're waking the person back. It is always like that in every field. IT is no different. You can never work alone. In fact, you will never work alone, right? Liverpool fans in the house. So, no to that question, Okwemi, thank you. Constraints, right? What are those things that prevent your solution from being rolled out the way you want to roll it out? So we had a solution we're trying to deploy somewhere, and we could make it work by using a service called Trusted Advisor. But the customer said, my data must not leave a particular country. Now, you may not know that in Amazon, Trusted Advisor can only be used from the US. And because of that, we had to remove that from the scope. That is a constraint. Okay, you've heard this thing called data sovereignty, where people say our data must reside within a particular country. That's a constraint. It means that you cannot just deploy or develop or create a solution where their data spreads across the world. Okay, there are even far more simpler constraints. For example, in a company, you find security team that will say to you, no, you cannot do this without using encryption. That's a constraint. So you must make sure that the data is encrypted. So watch out for those constraints as you start to gather your requirements. Don't forget, throw in your question at any point in time. I will pause, jump in and out of the questions. Okay. Another concept you want to bear in mind is what we call design patterns. You start to hear different design patterns. What are these things called design patterns? In very simple terms, they are solutions to problems that we've seen over and over and over again. right? One of the religious books says something about nothing being new. In fact, I think more than one religious book says something like that. Nothing is new under the sun. And it's a very popular saying. It's true. Nothing is new. Problems that you'll be facing today have been faced by people multiple times, and solutions have been developed that fit those problems. You would do well to align yourself with learning about those design patterns so that you can apply them. Okay, patterns such as multi availability zones, or multi-cloud or multi-region setup for resiliency, patterns like high availability designs. You would hear a lot of this, and you start to even hear architectural low-level ones like bulkhead, adapter, strangler fig. All of these things may sound like it's flying over your head, but don't worry. You would understand them at a conceptual level. You don't need to memorize patterns. I don't. Honestly, I don't. If I ever walk into an interview and I was asked to name 20 patterns, I'll probably just go, you know what? Let me go home. I don't need the job anymore. You don't need to memorize them, but you need to understand them from a conceptual point of view. Okay? I just mentioned high availability. Let's talk about that a little bit more. So, yes, high availability has to do with making sure that no matter what happens, people can continue to use the solution that you've deployed. Okay, if you're a data engineer and you've built a pipeline, things can go wrong. This is very, very key in data engineering, where you're kind of expecting users to enter data in a particular format. It just never happens, right? It just never happens. You kind of say, enter your name and your surname. Okay, start with capital letters. Some will do, some will enter all in capital letters, some will enter whatever pattern they do, and some data will not even be available. So if you've built your pipelines to put data together, and you're depending on the fact that certain things will be that way, it may not happen. The same thing, if you're a cloud engineer, you've built an infrastructure and you're expecting, oh yeah, it will never crash, right? It's Amazon, it's Microsoft, it's Google, it can never crash. And trust me, don't believe that, it can. I think there was an instance where an Amazon data center caught fire. I recall how many years ago, a few years ago. It actually happens. There was outage across a whole data center. So you need to think of, what do I need to do to make sure that if something goes down, one of the key components within my design, if it goes down, another one can take over, or there's a way to quickly recover that service. Okay, so when you talk about that high availability, it goes alongside resilience. So resilience is that ability to recover and recover quickly or gracefully. You think about that also as a foundational concept. Okay, what if everything went down? How soon can I bring it back up? Okay, so you think about them together. In terms of resilience, there are other concepts that you hear, such as RPO and RTO. What's RPO? Recovery point objective. What does that really mean? It's just a fancy word that says, how long do we want to not lose data for? So if you're keeping data and you think of the fact that everybody's contributing data to that database every second or every minute or however frequent is your data intake, you might say, okay, I don't want to lose more than 1 day's worth of data, right? Some companies can handle that. 1 day's worth of data lost, okay, we'll carry on. Business will not collapse. Some companies cannot. Imagine if your bank lost 1 day's worth of data. You know, it might just be that day that you deposited $1 million and you're like, oh, sorry, we had an outage and all the deposits from yesterday, sorry guys, we cannot find them, right? So for banks and financial institutions, they talk about recovery point objectives in terms of like seconds. They don't want to lose anything at all, because that would affect the lives of people. It's a material impact on people's lives. Okay. The other concept you want to think about in resilience is the recovery time objective, RTO. Recovery time objective has to do with how soon before we get back up. Okay. So if something has gone wrong, we know something has gone wrong, probably put up something on our front page saying, we know something is wrong, we're fixing it. But how long is that fix going to be? So different kind of systems have different requirements for RPOs and RTOs. And you don't need to over design these things. One of the things, and we're talking of concepts here, one of the things we think about is cost. Okay, if you want something that is super, 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 super highly available, it's going to cost you a lot. Okay, you can think of it like having protection. Okay, the bigger the muscles you want to protect you, the more expensive it's going to be. You can have a bulletproof car. Okay, you can even have a car that can resist nuclear attack. But how much are you going to spend on that? Okay, so think about that carefully when you're designing or when you're delivering your solution. You're not going to say it must be super, super high on every requirement of high availability and resilience. And at the end of the day, you don't have any money to deliver and to operate that. That doesn't work well. Okay. Moving on to another concept. Okay, are we having questions? Okay, good. Another concept you want to bear in mind is security. And I think security is big. I probably should have started with security. People would say, well, yeah, whichever point you want to discuss, people would say start with security from day one. It is a great concept. Mine, I would say, do not forget security. Okay, make sure it's at the forefront of what you're doing. In terms of security, you look at your user security, identity and access management. You hear about this all the time. Identity. You need to be able to identify who is using your system. There was a time in the past when it was almost a crime for robots to use your system. Today, it's normal. There are so many robots on Twitter. Okay, there are so many robots crawling the web today and getting good information for us, tracking things like the movement of planets and so on and so forth. So many robots are online. You get to know, in terms of your identity, what is human, what is non-human. Okay, and you can make decisions around things like that. Okay, you need to be able to manage access. So identity and access management, right? How do you manage your access? There is authentication, there is authorization. Authentication is saying, right, I know you, I know your identity, right? And I know that you are someone that is allowed to use the system. So come in through the door. You've welcomed that user, whether human or non-human, through the door. And then authorization is, now that you're in, what can you do? So bear that in mind. In terms of security, you look at your network, you talk about network security. Today, no matter where you sit in the IT space, you're going to need connectivity from one point to another. Okay. Some of you are working on your laptops now over Wi-Fi. It's connectivity. There are people whose sole intention is to just intercept that connectivity and try to see what you're doing. It is very possible. You need to make sure that you have security. We talked about things like transport layer security, TLS, or what you probably will more know as HTTPS. Okay, secure HTTP. Okay, you need to think about that when you are deploying your solution. Have you secured your network? Okay, there are more detailed areas of network security to do with domain name systems, but I don't want to go into that. That will go to low level for us. Also, in terms of security, think about your storage security. Sometimes I look at IT like this. You're collecting a lot of data and you're processing that data in order to give people value. That's one way to summarize IT. Data is the most important thing. There's a saying that data is the new oil. Data is even more precious than oil, I tell you. Okay? When you get data, you need to think of, how do I protect the data that I've got? Encryption comes to mind. Okay? When you encrypt something, you kind of jumble it up where you store it, so that if someone is looking at it physically, it makes no sense to the person. But you know that this is what you've done to what you stored, and you can recover it back to an intelligible form. That is encryption. Okay, you need to consider encryption at when you got the data at rest. What they call encryption at rest is where you store the data while you're not using it. You need to make sure no one can just read it. Okay, unless they've got that encryption key. And then you've got encryption encryption in transit, which is when your data is traveling from one system to another, or from one component within a system to another. You have to protect the data. So this is where transport layer security comes into play. Okay. You also have to think about encryption in use or in process, where you're actually processing this data. Okay. Don't forget that you're processing it in the memory of a system. If someone can access that memory, you can still intercept that data. So today, there are even systems that are built that allows you to protect the process of using that data within the system. And we're not going into details on all of that, but systems like that exist even in the cloud. Okay. You start to hear things like encryption keys. Encryption keys, they sound very fancy, but really what they are mathematical processes and numbers. That means that if I apply certain process to a data, it will be jumbled up in a way that you cannot interpret unless I give you those numbers that I used. Okay. I would wrap this up again with business value. Okay. I started with business value. I'm wrapping it up with business value. Okay. Irrespective of all these concepts we've talked about, okay, if you do not focus on business value, you're going to be like that fighter that went to a gunfight with karate. We all know what happened. Okay. It's how can I bring all these interesting technical jargons that we've been talking about? Encryption, networking, multi-availability zone, multi-cloud, multi-region, resilience, RTO, RPO, right? Design patterns, constraints, due diligence, fantastic. Okay, how does that give us money? Because if we don't get money and business out of all of this, then next month we are not paying salaries and everyone is going back home. Okay, this is why you never see any business today that's all about technical stuff. Any business introducing themselves start with, this is the value that we are selling. Okay, we are not selling you a hotel room. We are selling you comfort away from your home. We are not selling you a flight. We are selling you luxury in the sky. Right? You hear all of those things, don't you? Business value at the end of the day. So as you go on this journey, you will learn so many things, right? You come across so many concepts. But some of these things I've talked about, they are foundational elements, they are fundamentals. And I tell you what, do not try to jump. Many CSPs are removing barriers to their exams. They are saying, oh, you can go and take specialty exams, even though you don't have foundation exams. In the past, it didn't used to be so. You kind of took foundation, then you went to practitioner, then you went to advanced. No more. Everyone has removed the barriers. If you think you're a guru, go take the guru exam. But I tell you what, don't jump the gun, right? If you don't know, go back to the basics. You know, like they said in The Sound of Music, when you start to read, you begin with ABC. When you start to count, you begin with 1, 2, 3. And when you start to sing, you begin with what? Do, re, mi. So remember, this is what you need as your fundamental, as your foundation. And I hope that when you lay this solid foundation for yourself, it will take you places. The world is your oyster. The sky is your starting point. Thank you, and welcome to the cloud journey. Thank you. Omobolanle, back to you.
Thank you so much, Blessing, for that session. Okay, do we have any questions? Okay. Amarachi saying thank you, sir. That was a lot to absorb. Okay. Most of the questions have been answered. I want to believe this has been a very interesting session since we started. Hope we've had a very interesting time. Hey, Pamela says, oh wow, amazing presentation. Thank you, Blessing, for this. It was very insightful presentation. Right. Okay, Roy has been asking this question, and I think maybe you can help him with the answer. Blessing, do I need programming language for cloud engineering? I think this is like the
Yes, you do.
Sixth time.
Yes, you do. What's his name? Roy. So Roy, yes, you do. But I think that's not the question you really want to ask. I think the question playing at the back of your mind, and this is me going into my psychological realm, and I'm trying to read your mind, right? The question playing at the back of your mind is this going to be a barrier for me? And I tell you, no, it's not, right? You do need a programming language, but it is also easy to learn a programming language today. It's far, far easier than it ever was. Okay. And for those of you I just really want to welcome all of you on the journey, because this week we're just talking about starting. From the week after, we'll start to talk about how you conquer some of these things. Okay. Programming is pretty simple to learn, and it's quite fun to learn also these days. So don't let it hinder you. So again, in answer, yes, you do. For anything, cloud engineering, data engineering, yes, you do. But you can also learn it pretty quickly and easily. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that blessing. Maureen is saying a reminder for you to get your full name so that we can connect with you on LinkedIn. You promised to share your full name.
And here I thought I dodged that question, right? To hunt me. Right. Rather than my full name, why not just take the entire URL? Okay. Take the entire link. Just click that link now and find me on LinkedIn. There you go. I don't promise I'm going to reply you straight away. I'm very picky with my network on LinkedIn, because once I add, I don't go back and unadd. But I will I'll go around and I'll get to add you.
For those of us asking for the URL, it's in the chat box. Okay. It was posted by Adejuwon, so just check it. If you can't click it, just copy the URL. I'll copy it and get that. All right. Let me just take 2 more questions and we'll call it a morning. Okay. This question is from Ufoma. Is Python alone a programming language for data engineer?
No. As you come into the world of programming, and I give you this, it's quite funny. My friend of blessed memory, Obi, he used to be a very funny person. Walks up into my office in Victoria Island, Lagos one day, and he meets my boss. And he says, "Oh, I'm a programmer." And my boss said, "What do you program in?" He said, "I program in CAT." And my boss said, "Wow, I didn't know there's a programming language called CAT." We'll put up the internet, Google it up, and indeed, there is a programming language called CAT. Funny. There are so many languages and tools in this space, right? Python is a great one because there's a lot you can do. But you would find yourself, having learned one, you will start to transition to another and another, and over time, you'll be so good in many. But you will learn to know the things that are best for the job, the right tools for the right job. Okay. Can you recap on the programming language requirements, Glorious? Yes, indeed. We said you would need a programming language, right? But then it's easy to learn one. Don't let that hold you back. Okay. Right. The business value you bring as a cloud engineer or cloud expert, are the clients the ones to introduce that with what they want, or is it the engineer the one to initiate? Both ways. You would don't worry about how do I learn to know what is business value. You will know. Okay, because again, there are patterns, there are repeatable solutions that we know to business problems. So you could say to the customer, this is value you can get. Customer can also say, this is what we want. Okay, so it's a mutual process. Okay, after we finish cohort 5, can someone that couldn't continue with cohort 5 due to schedule apply for cohort 6? Right, so that's back to you, Adejuwon Adeyeye. Thanks very much, everyone.
All right, thank you, Blessing. I would answer that very quickly before we call it a morning. I'm not sure what exactly your schedule is like, but if you're starting a program with the intention of not finishing, I'm not sure that's a very good way to start. Okay, you have to choose to finish a certain program. At the moment, you already know you have to do this in 6 months. Plan your schedule, make all the plans. But when you start with looking for a way out before starting, I'm sure you will definitely find it. Okay, so I would advise that with whatever you're doing, try your best to through the program. You shouldn't be starting with the question of, oh, what if I don't finish? That would not be a very great mindset to walk you through this, because there will be challenges, and this is me I'm not trying to discourage anybody, but there will be challenges. Okay, but you have to look at the goal in mind. You do not just start looking at the challenges already. The challenges are not your focus. The goal, okay, where you're going to should be the focus. All right, that's all we'll be taking this morning. We will be coming back for our afternoon session where we'll be having much more enlightening sessions. We're so excited as we're wrapping up the induction program. I think it's important that you do not miss any more sessions, because it gets better and better by the day. We have just 3 more sessions to go tomorrow and this afternoon. So I would advise that you're present so you can enjoy everything, especially, this last few sessions would, you'll be transitioning into the LMS platform. So it's very important that you are present. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Thank you for your time this morning. Thank you, Juwon. Thank you, Tosin. And thank you, Blessing, for your time this morning and your contribution. Do have a good morning.